Hello, this is David Dean, and things are about ready to get a little bit weird. I went through some information on Battle Royale with their current storyline, and the more I read through their storyline and compared it to our storyline, the more a theory kept building in my head, no matter how crazy that theory seemed to be. And I'm not going to drag it on. The main thing I'm thinking is the possibility of crossplay between Save the World and Battle Royale heroes, and using something like Challenge the Horde mechanism to make that possible. I know it seems a little weird, but hear me out. I'm going to go through and just walk you through what's going on in the two different storylines that makes me think it's possible they could be setting this up. And to me, there's definitely hints to it. And let's hit this geyser, fly over the lava pit, and then we will go ahead and exit on out to what we got going on. And here, I stopped by this website. I found it today, King of Bling. If you want, swing by and subscribe. He only has 139 and can use a little love. But he has gone through the last two major events and recorded every single piece of information that Ray gives for the storyline. And going through this and double checking some stuff, basically, if you go back to Into the Storm, that whole story is about our good old friend Lars. And you know Lars, he is the rock and roll meteorologist, genius scientist in the Ride the Lightning van mission. Excuse me. And so the big deal with him is that you are finding out his history and backstory, and you find out that he used to be part of a band, and that band broke up because suddenly his bandmate and world-leading astrophysicist, genius scientist left the band to research the anomalies that were going on before the wave of Husk attacked. And that's what the anomalies were. And then suddenly his friend Carlos, the astrophysicist, disappeared, evidently launching himself into the storm, and nobody has been able to track him down. And the whole storyline going on in Save the World is tracking him down for the Into the Storm storyline. At the same time, you have in both storylines, Battle Royale and Save the World, going on where you have meteors crashing to the ground, and you have these huge crater sites you got to explore. And these things are just running in parallel to each other. And then suddenly, over in Battle Royale, you have the Visitor show up out of the crater, out of a capsule. And he goes in Battle Royale and launches the rocket, and suddenly you're having these dimensional rifts starting to form in Battle Royale that haven't opened yet, but definitely something is going on. And also you have the cracked shield over the Battle Royale. Now, they've never really said or went into Epic as far as, is Save the World and Battle Royale taking place on the same planet at the same time? Are they different planets, or are they different dimensions, like multi-dimensions? If you're a Rick and Morty fan, they use that in there, where you have all these different dimensions you can hop through dimensional rifts. And hopefully we don't get into the whole mini-verse, microverse, and tinyverse thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely go watch Rick and Morty. But getting back to this. So, we started off and Saved the World with a missing astrophysicist scientist that went into the one of the rifts. Suddenly, we have an unknown person come out into Battle Royale. He launches the rockets, and suddenly the rifts are forming all over the place. That looks a lot like the beginning of the rifts that allowed the Husks to come into Save the World. And it's just really interesting how that is going. Also, following the storyline, we moved up to the Blockbuster event. And the Blockbuster event currently ends with a quest where Ray is sending out requests to get more and more heroes coming into home base, and home base getting it all set up for this giant influx of heroes coming in. And so once again, we have it where it's setting up for all these heroes coming in. Also in Battle Royale, currently they just opened up the playground area where they're doing a lot more building and other things that seem a lot more helpful if they were getting ready to go into something like Challenge the Horde with Save the World players, so that they be a little bit more evenly matched when it comes to building and stuff. Now, for a lot of people out there, they have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to Challenge the Horde. This is an event that came out a while ago, part of the Fortnite Hordes Bash. Roughly October of last year it came out. And in this, it was basically totally separate from everything else in Save the World. Currently, everything in Save the World is about progressing in your quest line and the storyline that's currently going on there in Stonewood, Plankerton, Canny Valley, and up into Twine Peaks. This existed outside of that. You would still have your heroes, but you would go into an area, and first of all, you would have a brand new skill tree that just came with this event, and you would fill in the skill tree, and the skill tree determined how big you could build your initial structure, how much materials you had, and how much materials you had when you entered into the event. And so you would first go into an area like this that would have 4 big plots. You would run up with whatever materials you had from the skill tree, and you would build your structure however you wanted it. Once you completed it, you would save it, and you would leave. And then you would go on into, well, we don't want that. You would go on into the mission itself. And far as this, what you would have in the mission, as you can see here, there's 1 fort, 2 fort, 3 fort, and they're standing in a 4th one. And that's wrong on there. There we go. But for that, how could you do that where you would have Save the World characters and Battle Royale characters? Well, as I said, the Save the World characters, when they went in and did the initial building, they only had the stuff that came from the skill tree. You could also have the Battle Royale characters get the exact same skill tree when they entered into the event. They could build the buildings exactly the same. And then when they go into the event, now that's where you would have to start making a little bit of changes. Before, the Save the World heroes, like me, I have a backpack with over 200 different types of items in it to craft weapons and traps and build buildings the second I enter a normal mission. But when I went into Challenge the Horde or Horde Bash, I had none of that. I only had what I had from the skill tree to start my, build whatever weapons. Because I still did have my schematics, my trap and weapons. And that's one thing that would have to change. For a Battle Royale hero coming over, you don't have those schematics for weapons and traps. But then you could just do the beginning of the mission exactly the way to do Battle Royale, where you go in and you are scrambling to find weapons and pick up weapons, traps, and ammo when you first get into the mission. Or you could have it, everybody has a set series of schematics. They could have one type of each trap, and then you could have an array of weapons or just the scavenger weapons to choose from to build for the event. And that would even everything out for both sides of it. And then the other thing, figuring out the heroes, because Save the World, your hero naturally has abilities like soldiers having grenades or shockwave and things like that. But the heroes that we've been getting lately in Save the World are heroes that have been coming over, the skins of the heroes from Battle Royale, like the Monkey King and Carbide and other ones. And learning to use, instead of picking up grenades and using your grenades, now you would just have grenades as an ability and you'd have to wait for them to recharge to use a second time. that would be pretty quick and pretty easy for anybody to learn with the hero. Now, with that, also anybody coming over with their heroes, they could do it by any skin they wanted to, or they could do it through event heroes that are going on at the time. Once again, evening it out. And the only other aspect is heroes save the world. Their heroes can be through level 1 to 50. And Battle Royale, I believe it's 1 through 100. I don't know Battle Royale all that well. But you could still even that out where you could have crossplay between the two different games, which I could definitely see Epic doing. Because to me, even though right now Battle Royale is the biggest, hottest thing out there, trying to keep people focused on a game, mainly when other game makers are now trying to implement Battle Royale mode into their new games coming out, being able to crossplay between Save the World and Battle Royale in an area like Challenge the Horde, which is kind of separate from both of them, would be just a great and amazing idea, I believe, for the company to do. So even though I think there's a very slight chance of it happening in 5.0, I just think it would take a little bit too much for them to have it ready by then. Until I go and look at all the hints they've been putting in the storyline, that makes it look like that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Oh, and another thing is that they said they're changing Fortnite Challenge the Horde this time to be in an arid desert area. And we've already seen pictures of that with covered wagons and all this old Western type setting. And then today I read about how people data mining and Battle Royale have discovered all these new skins of covered wagons and old Western style things that are just been added into Battle Royale when they go data mining. So there is actually a lot of hints out there that this could be a possibility. And I definitely would love your feedback. And even if they don't do this for 5.0, I would love for people, if they want this idea to happen, to push on Epic to make it happen. We are the customers. We are the ones putting forth money to keep this going, and I think it would be a great thing for the game. So definitely share this video, pass it on. Maybe somebody with better editing skills than myself could help it out. Now, I do have to admit, I'm kind of biased on this because I love everything with my theory because it has to deal with rockets and dimensional rifts and astrophysics and all that. And for my history, I am actually somebody that came out, this is from 2003, on the Mars rover Opportunity launch. I was the Air Force flight launch commander for that launch, which was just amazing. And this is my team getting ready the day before launch. And just put that up there because, yeah, I could have some bias in this trying to push for this to happen. But I do think overall what they're pushing in the story right now leads up to what I've been saying, where you do have Lars' missing friend. And, did not want that one. All right, Lars' friend. And then suddenly this strange scientist appearing over in Battle Royale, and you have the dimensional rift showing up, and you have on both of them skins being put into the game that are all of the same area and time frame and everything else. So let me know your thoughts. Am I totally crazy on this? Now, you don't think it's going to happen? Do you think this is a possibility? Do you know other parts of the storyline that I did not touch on here that would help support this or totally shoot it down? And even if it doesn't work for the storyline currently going on, do you want this in the future for there to be kind of a neutral playground between Save the World and Battle Royale where we could meet up and play together? And I'm going to throw down the challenge gauntlet with Epic, make that happen. And then I'm going to throw down the challenge gauntlet on Battle Royale on all the people over there. Yeah, you're really good at sniping an 8-year-old kid playing the game, and you're really good at hiding in a bush until everybody else is dead. But come on, you're going to go over to save the world and you're going to go jumping through the field when you got 1,000 husks coming at you with propane and blasters and everything else. I want to see that happen. And I know I'm giving you a hard time, mainly to my friends and family who play the game, which I love doing, but I would love to play with you all. So take care, have a great day, and let me know what you think.